like a roaring fight, crypto and dreams under stadium lights, sweat and fire, hearts ignite. Evening sports buffet, with the Ginch we play. Highlights, wild scores collide, it's a riot live tonight. Lace drawn, bold on the chalkboard slate, rivals clash, it's a
Ladies and gentlemen,
every second pound.
I am Sid Ginch. I am that early evening sports buffet with the Ginch, another episode coming your way. A little sports news and notes from around the world. But if you haven't been watching the news, the Naval Academy right now is on lockdown because there's an active shooter. Supposedly what the reports are coming out right now is that the shooter, who was a student that was expelled from the academy, showed up on the Naval Academy campus and is supposedly knocking on doors, pretending to be law enforcement. I'm watching Fox News Live right now. It looks like they have a helicopter there. They brought one person out, put them on a helicopter, but it didn't seem to be anything serious. But the entire Naval Academy is on lockdown. The student is in the main hall, which is Banquet Hall, which is basically the hall that all the students stay. So this is an ongoing story. But anywho, again, welcome to another edition, early evening sports buffet with the Ginch. What do we consider early evening? It's like 5 o'clock the evening, or is 5 o'clock the late afternoon? What particular hour constitutes the evening? I would say 6 o'clock. So anywho, let's get to tonight's game. The Packers and the Commanders. And also there's a college game on, the Wolf Pack and Wake Forest, North Carolina State, Wake Forest. That'll be kicking off at 7:30. That particular game, the college game, I think it should be a good one. I had North Carolina State winning this 27-24. The Commanders on the road against the Pack with the big win against Detroit at home. Commanders with the win against the Giants at home. I have a feeling this is going to be a defensive struggle for some reason. Packers defense was stout against the Lions. The Commanders were stout against the Giants. Little home cooking. I'll go Packers 27, Commanders 24. One thing to watch, and I say this all the time, whoever wins the running battle tonight should win the game. But I've got the Packers winning a close one, 27-24. So let's get to some of the news and notes from today. In the world of the NBA, there's a report that came out. This is reported by ESPN. Kawhi Leonard paid after Clippers partners investment. And I'll just read it verbatim here. A limited partner with the LA Clippers reportedly sent nearly $2 million to a now bankrupt company that allegedly gave Kawhi Leonard an endorsement deal for a no-show job less than 10 days before the star forward was paid $1.75 million by the company. The podcast Pablo Torre Finds Out reported on Thursday. I had mentioned this last week. Excuse me. The company Aspiration reportedly agreed to a $28 million endorsement deal with Leonard in 2021. Clippers owner Steve Ballmer invested $50 million through his personal LLC in September 2021, and the Clippers announced a $300 million partnership with Aspiration 2 weeks later. Torre reported that Leonard agreed to a 4-year, $28 million endorsement deal in April 2022, 9 months after he re-signed with the Clippers. On Thursday, Torre reported that Dennis J. Wong, a Clippers limited partner invested almost $2 million in Aspiration 9 days before the company made a $1.75 million payout to Leonard. The payment to Leonard was late, according to the payment schedule, as the company was reportedly having financial troubles before ultimately clearing bankruptcy. What does this mean? I don't know. I don't know the legal ramifications of all this. Adam Silver said, quote unquote, I think, as with any process that requires a fundamental sense of fairness, the burden should be on the party that is, in essence, bringing those charges. Remember last week, Steve Ballmer told ESPN's Ramona Shelburne that the allegations had not been true. This is a lot of gobbledygook, a lot of legal shit in here. I'm not a lawyer. I guess we'll just have to see how this plays out. The Cleveland Browns' Grant Delpit has said that it is not hard to tackle Derrick Henry. I'm not exactly sure you want to divulge that information publicly. Reported by Jamison Hensley, ESPN. Really not the kind of stuff you want to divulge before you're playing the Ravens. I'm trying to see exactly what the quote was. Asked today how hard it is to bring down the 6'3", 250-pound Henry, Delpit replied, not hard. We'll find out. We'll find out on Sunday. Again, that's locker room board material. Again, I think. Well, we have to see how the Ravens respond off that collapse against the Bills. Number one. Number two, the Browns lost a toughie against the Bengals, so I don't think the game's particularly going to be close. But that's why they play the games. The Costa Rican authorities have raided a hotel in their Gardner investigation. They raided the hotel in which the boy was found dead. I remember 6 months ago, Miller Gardner, the 14-year-old son of New York Yankees outfielder Brett Gardner, he had passed away. And the prosecutor suggested the investigation could result in a manslaughter case. We will have to keep an eye on that. It is an ongoing fluid situation. And of course, in the world of NCAA sports, this doesn't surprise me. Nothing surprises me anymore when it comes to stuff. Just like with the Naval Academy thing today. I was saying to a couple of friends yesterday, late last night, September 11th, today. So I was saying to them yesterday, something's going to go down. But 13 players from 6 schools involved in gambling schemes, as reported by David Purdom Espen. Just going to read it verbatim. 13 men's college basketball players from 6 schools were involved in gambling schemes, including betting against their own team, game manipulation, and sharing information with third parties for gambling purposes, the NCAA announced Thursday. Doesn't shock me at all. Players formerly associated with Eastern Michigan, Temple, Arizona State, New Orleans, North Carolina A&T, and Mississippi Valley State are all under investigation for gambling violations. The NCAA declined to name the athletes until the infractions process has concluded. None of the players are currently enrolled at schools where the infractions occurred according to the NCAA. Violations include athletes betting on and against their own teams, sharing information with third parties for purposes of betting, knowingly manipulating scoring or game outcomes, and or refusing to participate in the enforcement staff's investigation. The NCAA said some third parties are involved in multiple cases and that they were aware of how some players were compromised in the schemes, but declined to give specifics. You're going to see more and more of this shit coming out. Doesn't surprise me whatsoever. This is just the state of sports that we're in, the state of the country that we're in. Right now, this country is sinking deeper and deeper into a cesspool, is what all this shit is. The NHL has said, reported by Greg Wyshynski, acquitted Hockey Canada players can return December 1st. If anybody remembers, Dylan Dubé, Cal Foote, Alex Fourmet, and Carter Hart and Michael McLeod were members of Hockey Canada's 2008 National Under-20 junior team. And remember, they were criminally charged in early 2024 for an alleged incident that took place after the Hockey Canada Foundation Gala in London, Ontario. Remember, they were charged with, I think it was rape, but they were acquitted. NBA news. Unfortunately, Jason Collins is undergoing treatment for a brain tumor, reported by ESPN News Services. Remember, he was the first openly gay NBA player to come out. Hopefully, speedy recovery. Hopefully, this all turns out well for him and his family and his friends. The Dolphins held players-only meeting after the blowout loss to the Colts. Probably not going to divulge what was talked about, but again, I said after last Sunday's loss to the Colts, Mike McDaniels lost his team. I would be highly surprised if he remains the coach throughout the entire season. I could be wrong, but I just don't see how his message resonates with the players anymore. They might need a new direction, is what I'm saying. The world of the NFL, more NFL news. The NFL will not discipline Ravens Lamar Jackson for shoving a Bills fan. He was just trying to protect a teammate as well after the touchdown celebration. An NFL spokesman, Brian McCarthy, wrote in a statement, the matter has been addressed by the club and there's no further action from the league. So there you have it. I would hope for future reference that Lamar Jackson has learned his lesson. The NFL is investigating the Tyreek Hill domestic violence allegations. Of course, you knew that was going to come down. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Just says they're looking into it. And that's all it says. Paul Spencer, what's up, buddy? The fan was banned from any game in the foreseeable future. Yes, he was banned. Then he made a mockery of it by posting some bullshit thing on social media with him in a neck brace. So you get banned and you're still going to be a jerk off. Just take your lumps. You don't have to be a jack off about it. Yeah, he just butt hurt. That's all it is. Major League Baseball. I did not go over scores yesterday or anything to do with sports because what happened out there in Utah. Major League scoreboard from yesterday, if you missed it. I said on Wednesday. Rangers beat the Brewers 6-3. The Athletics beat the Red Sox 5-4. D-backs beat the Giants 5-3. Angels over the Twins 4-3. Orioles over the Pirates 2-1. Royals over the Guardians 4-3. Marlins over the Nats 8-3. Phillies over the Mets 11-3. Can basically stick a fork in the Mets. Tigers hammered the Yankees 11-1. Astros over the Blue Jays 3-2. Cubs over the Braves 3-2. White Sox over the Rays 6-5. Reds over the Padres 2-1. Mariners over the Cardinals 4-2. And the Dodgers hammered the Rockies 9-0. Major League Baseball slate today. Earlier, the Orioles beat the Pirates 3-2. White Sox beat the Rays again 5-1. And the Blue Jays 6-0 over the Stros. Going on right now, top of the fourth, Marlins over the Nats 2-0. Top of the second, Yankees up on the Tigers 1-0. Mid-first, Royals up on the Guardians 2-0. And right now, bottom of the first, the Mets with a big inning 4-0 over the Phillies right now. Later on, the Angels and the Mariners, the Rockies and the Padres. Some Major League Baseball news. The Yankees' Anthony Volpe has gotten a cortisone shot for a small labrum tear. I've had a torn labrum. It just nags and nags and nags and nags. Donald Trump is in attendance for the Yankees game on the 9/11 anniversary. That's it from Major League Baseball. I went over the standings the other day. I'm not going to go over them again. We know right now what the playoff race looks like. Anywho, NBA news. We just went over the Kawhi Leonard situation. Jason Collins. Some other NBA news. Landry Shamet agrees to a 1-year deal to return to the Knicks. Doesn't say what the deal was for, but he's coming back to the Knicks. Some of the other stuff I've already gone over as far as the NBA goes. This is going to be a quick show. The WNBA, we are getting down to the nitty-gritty. Yesterday, the Dream beat the Sun 88-72. Tonight, a good slew of games. Liberty at the Sky. Mercury at the Wings. The Valkyries at the Lynx should be a good one. Aces at the Sparks should be another good one. Playoff field is almost basically set. English Premier League kicks back off again this weekend. I will run down the table again. Saturday's fixtures in the Premier League, as soon as it pops up here. At 7 a.m., Arsenal is hosting Nottingham Forest. I will go Arsenal 3, Nottingham Forest 1. You have Bournemouth hosting Brighton. I will go 1-1. Crystal Palace is hosting Sunderland. I will go 2-0 Palace. Everton is hosting Aston Villa. I will go 1-1 there. Fulham hosting Leeds. I will go Fulham 2, Leeds 1. Newcastle's hosting Wolverhampton. I will go Newcastle 3, Wolverhampton 1. West Ham's hosting Tottenham. I will go Tottenham 2, West Ham 0. Brentford hosting Chelsea. I will go Chelsea 3, Brentford 1. Then on Sunday, Burnley hosts Liverpool. Liverpool should win that 2-0. And then the Manchester Derby, Man City's hosting Man United. I will go with a 2-2 draw. So there you have it. The NASCAR circuit is at Bristol Motor Speedway this Saturday at 7:30 p.m. I will not make a prediction. People who follow NASCAR know who does well on short tracks. But it's the third race of the playoffs. I went through the standings on Monday. Ryder Cup is next. Is it next week? Or 2 weeks? It's 2 weeks, I believe. Yes. It is 2 weeks. And again, I will have Harry Mays on here to talk golf and the Ryder Cup. I went over the scores on the episode of Student Body Right for colleges. I picked my upset special of the week. Just nothing major from the world of college football. A bunch of your injury updates and whatnot. Let's see. Let's go to this. Remember Florida State's Ethan Pritchard was shot in the head. There were 4 arrests that have been made in connection with that shooting. This is reported by the Associated Press. Jaden Bodison, Karan Miller, Germany Atkins, and an unnamed minor have been arrested in connection with the shooting. Bodison Miller, and the juvenile were charged with 3 counts of attempted murder and 1 count of shooting into an occupied vehicle. Atkins was charged with 1 count of probation violation. So at least they brought these guys to justice. If you want to keep up on the injury news, it affects your betting. Wisconsin's quarterback Billy Edwards Jr. is unlikely to play against Alabama. Plans to travel with the team, plans to warm up for the game, but he is not going to play because of a sprained knee. If it's sprained that badly, that's probably why he's not going to play. Some other news reported by Max Olson, Espen. SEC coaches expressed support Wednesday for the proposed move of college football's transfer portal window from December to January, arguing it's the best option, even if it conflicts with college football playoff schedule. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Transfer portal should have never been in December. There should be 1 transfer portal. 1. Now, I'm glad they moved it to January, but it still conflicts with the college football playoff. Hello. The only transfer portal window should be you play the college football season, you play the college football national championship game, and when the national championship game is over, there should be a 10-day window after that national championship game is played that guys can transfer or whoever can transfer. And then that's it. You're done. No more transfers, period. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Unfortunately, Missouri, their main starting quarterback, Sam Horn, he is going to miss the season after he had leg surgery. He had a fractured tibia. That hurts. Charges have been dropped against ex-South Florida coach Jim Levitt. Remember, he was charged with domestic violence and theft charges. But they have been dropped. And I think that's going to do it for today. Because there is really nothing, other than the headlines that I mentioned, there is nothing major coming across the wires. So, as I end every show, practice compassion, practice empathy, have passion for what you do. Hug somebody. You might make their day. Tell somebody you love them. You might not get a second chance. And for God's sakes, if you see somebody struggling or someone's having a bad way, you see that they're just going through it. Inquire about what's wrong. Ask questions. Get them the help that they need. Because you might not only be saving their life, you might be saving countless other lives as well. The stuff that's going on now, the last couple of days, it's just insane. And it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. We can take steps and measures, maybe to prevent it from happening too often. But again, someone feels left out, or they're feeling bullied. They feel like they don't fit in. They feel like people aren't listening to them. We need to start listening or inquiring or asking questions. I will be back on Monday for another edition of Early Evening Sports Buffet with the Ginch and Student Body Right. Enjoy the week's actions, ladies and gentlemen, and hug your loved ones. Keep them close to the vest, at least for now. Because again, what's going on right now is the definition of insanity. The definition of insanity. So, again, stay safe out there. Be aware. Tell people you love them. Because like I said, you might not get a second chance. There is only one thing left for me to do. And that is for Dandy Don to take me out. Enjoy your weekend, everybody, and stay safe.
Turn out the lights. The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.